Today, we're talking about one of the most solid and respected defenses in all of chess, the Caro-Kann. The Caro-Kann dates all the way back to the 1800s, named after Horatio Caro and Marcus Kann, and it's been trusted by world champions from Capablanca, Karpov, and even Magnus Carlsen. So yeah, it's legit. But what makes it so powerful? Unlike the Sicilian, which can get wild, or the French defense, where your light-squared bishop can feel trapped forever, the Caro-Kann is solid, structured, and super resilient. The core ideas of the Caro-Kann are the same in almost every variation. If you can remember these three principles, you'll almost always know what to do. First, we build our rock-solid central pawn structure. We play c6 and then d5. Later, we'll often play e6 to create a central pawn triangle that is incredibly tough for white to crack. This is our fortress. Second, we solve the bad bishop problem before it even starts. Our main goal is almost always to get our light-squared bishop to the f5 square before we play e6 and lock our pawns in. This gets the bishops outside the pawn chain, where it can become an active, annoying piece for white to worry about. Third, and this is the most important part, we prepare the counterpunch. The one move we're always thinking about, always setting up, is the c5 pawn break. This move lasts away at the base of white's center on d4, rips the position open, and unleashes our pieces. This is the signal that we're done defending, and now our attack begins. Alright, enough theory. Let's see how this works against the moves you'll actually face. One of the first things you'll see, especially from players who want to attack you right away, is the advance variation. After e4, c6, d4, and d5, they'll push with e5. They're trying to grab space, cramp you up, and basically suffocate you. But this is exactly what we were hoping for. Our response is the most natural move on the board, bishop to f5. We're following our core principle, get the bishop out. From here, our plan is simple. We'll play e6, develop our knights, and get ready for that game-changing c5 pawn break to blow up white's center. But wait, there's one massive trap you absolutely have to know. A tricky opponent will often play h4. This is the Tal Variation, and it has a simple, nasty idea. They want to play h5 next and trap our beautiful bishop. Thousands of games have been lost right here. If you play a quiet move like e6, white plays g4, your bishop has nowhere to go, and it's a catastrophe. The solution to this is simple. When they play h4, we just play h5. We stop their pawn in its tracks and tell them not today. The bishop can now always retreat to h7 if it needs to, and we've completely shut down their big idea. Now we just continue with our plan of e6 and preparing c5, leaving white's h-pawn looking a little silly and out of place. Okay, so what if your opponent isn't feeling so aggressive? They might go for the exchange variation. e4, c6, d4, d5, and now e takes d5. We simply recapture with c takes d5. The position looks symmetrical, maybe even a little boring. A lot of players think that gives white an easy, risk-free game. They're wrong. Often white will play c4, the Panov-Botvinnik Attack. This creates what's called an isolated queen's pawn for white on d4. All you need to know about an isolated queen's pawn is that it gives white some space in the middle game, but it becomes a huge, chronic weakness in the endgame. So, our game plan is simple. Let's trade pieces. We'll develop normally, keep an eye on that d4 pawn, and every time we trade a knight or a bishop, we're one step closer to winning an endgame. We'll park a rook on the c-file, put pressure on the weak pawns, and just squeeze white off the board. If they don't play the aggressive c4 and go for a quieter move like bishop d3, our plan is even easier. We just develop with moves like knight c6, knight f6, and e6. Sure, the position is equal, but in the Caro-Kann, equal is fantastic for black. We have the healthier pawn structure, no weaknesses, and we're just waiting for white to make one tiny mistake. If you're enjoying this guide and you're ready to start turning the tables on those e4 players, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. Okay, now let's check out the main line of the Caro-Kann so you can continue on your journey to becoming a Caro-Kann master. It's time for the main event, the classical variation. This is the most popular, most respected way for white to play. After e4, c6, d4, and d5, white plays knight c3. We play d takes e4, and after knight takes e4, we make our signature move, bishop f5. This is the Caro-Kann philosophy in a nutshell. We get our bishop to a great square before we lock things down with e6. White will almost always challenge our bishop right away with knight to g3. We just calmly tuck it back to g6. Now, just like in the advanced variation, a common idea for white is to poke at our bishop with h4. And just like before, we have a simple answer, h6. Wait, why not h5 like before? The pawn structure is different here, so we just need to create a little escape square for our bishop on h7. After we play h6, if white gets greedy and plays h5 themselves, they might end up trapping their own knight. The main line continues, knight f3, and we play knight d7. We just continue our solid development, getting ready to play knight g to f6. White will often play h5, kicking our bishop to h7, and then they play bishop to d3. White wants to trade off our super active bishop, and we say, you bet. We play bishop takes d3, and after queen takes d3, we've reached a classic Caro-Kann position. It might look quiet, but look closer. Black's position is flawless. We have no weaknesses, a better long-term pawn structure, and we're ready to finish developing with e6, knight f6, and we have every reason to feel great about the game. Okay, now let's talk about some of the wilder stuff your opponents might throw at you. What if after e4, c6, d4, and d5, they play f3? This is the fantasy variation. It looks aggressive, but by blocking the best square for their knight, white also makes their own king a little less safe. Our plan is to punish this. We play d takes e4, and then after f takes e4, we hit back immediately with e5. This instantly challenges white's setup and takes advantage of the awkward f3 pawn. But now, for the one pattern you absolutely have to know. This is a deadly trap that has caught thousands of players, even grandmasters. It comes out of the classical variation. The moves are e4, c6, d4, d5, knight to c3, d takes e4, knight takes e4, but instead of our usual bishop to f5, we play the solid knight to d7. This is the Karpov variation, a totally respectable line where we plan to play knight g to f6 without letting white double our pawns. The game continues, queen to e2. This looks weird, but it sets up a brutal trap. If black is on autopilot and plays the most natural move in the world, knight g to f6, the game is over. White plays knight to d6, and it's smothered checkmate. It's a vicious game-ending shot. Knowing this pattern will save you countless headaches and maybe even let you catch an opponent sleeping. The Caro-Kann Defense is your all-in-one solution to e4. It's solid, it's reliable, and it gives you amazing chances to outplay your opponents. You just need to understand the core ideas, the solid fortress, the free bishop, and the counterpunch. So the next time your opponent plays e4 with that confident smirk, you can just smile right back. Play c6, build your fortress, and get ready to crush them on the counterattack. If you found this guide helpful, please hit that like and subscribe for more chess opening deep dives. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Caro-Kann line is, or what opening you want to see next. Now go fire up a few games, give the Caro-Kann a spin, and start winning more games against those aggressive e4 players.